and stayed with my aunt. So it was really great to be back. But at the same time, I did miss a lot of things about the States, and I definitely believe I'll live here for the rest of my life. I don't know if I'll get another chance to come back and play, but I bought a home here now, and I live here in Richmond, and that's where I intend to let my kids, be raised and go through school and everything. So, it was just a little unfortunate. I wish I had a bit more time, could have got a bit more fitness and some more games under my belt and scored a few goals, but the way things worked out, it didn't happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, what can I say? Those are, that's what happens sometimes. But you have other priorities, and definitely, I know, having kids myself, young kids, you miss them. I mean, I just miss them. A couple of days after an overnight. Me and my wife are like, oh boy, okay, when are they coming back? We can't wait to get rid of them. But then a couple of days we're missing them. So, I can just imagine. I can just imagine. Well, next question. And I did a little research. Have you ever played against Ross Smith? He's one of the Fleet favorites.
I do know Ross very well. I actually don't believe I've played against him. I played with him for a season in Rochester for the Rhinos. We got along really well. I haven't spoken to him for quite a while, but I do have his number and whatnot, and try and stay in touch with him. But yeah, I don't believe I played against him. I know we played in college. I don't think we ever played against each other in college. And obviously last year in Portland, he was playing in USL 1 while I was in USL 2. So, I did play with him for a season. Great guy. Doesn't surprise me that he was a fan favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Back there. But he was very well liked in Rochester too. Rochester's a great soccer town. I think my first year we averaged close to 10,000 fans a game, which was great atmosphere to play in week out, and he was definitely loved by the fans through there.
Yeah, one of the Rochester used to have an old NASL team, the Lancers. They lasted for about 10 years, but what happened, after the demise of the old NASL in 1984, 1985, there was still, pockets of soccer or football in the U.S., and it was still growing. It was still growing at the youth level. And so, yeah, I can imagine, what a great time it was playing there. And they were the last team, I believe, to win the U.S. Open Cup after the MLS.
As a non-MLS team,
Yeah.
I think that was in maybe 99.
There's a lot of soccer at the lower levels.
There's a lot of soccer going on all across America now, and the kickers have a great system. We have a program called Little Kicks, which starts with two 3-year-olds, and then we have programs that run all the way up to the academy, which is the under 18s, and then from there we move on to the pro team. Although usually the players would attend college in between, going from the academy to pros, they normally attend college. So we pretty much have everything for every age group, and it's a good model, more similar to the European way. It's a great system they've got here, and we got a lot of the pro players do coach youth teams, and pass on that knowledge. And in the past, I think you had a lot of parents that would coach their soccer team, but they had really no knowledge of soccer. So it's definitely important to have the right people, teaching the kids the right way to play and understand the game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was wondering how you came about playing for VCU. Um, and I also I noticed that Ross Smith played for Rhode Island. Um, were you attracted to the university and you came over, or is that something?
Yeah, it's I think I found out maybe in March of 2000. I had a phone call from Ted Jones, who was an assistant coach at VCU.
Mm-hmm.
And coming to America had never even crossed my mind for a second at this point. And I believe I was playing for Carmarthen Town. I was finishing my last year doing my A-levels in school. And he called me and told me about an opportunity to have a scholarship to come out to university and play. And so I talked it over with my dad and a lot. I lived with my dad in Wales.
Mm-hmm.
And Ted Jones came over to see me play. I was playing for the Welsh under-18 team. We had a game in Aberystwyth. He came to watch me play, and he liked what he saw, and he said he'd love to have you come out. So, I guess by the summertime, I had a trial, I think, at Plymouth Argyle and Tranmere Rovers, and I've been to a few places. And it was kind of a decision whether I was going to keep going on a few trials or come out to America. And I decided on giving it a shot to see what would happen. And so in August, I flew out and started, playing for VCU and attending university. So it was a big adjustment. Definitely a bit of culture shock the first 6 months. But
Yeah.
since then, I've adjusted well. And I guess the past 10 years have kind of flown by. So
Wow.
I was at that road where I could have gone one way or the other, and ended up coming out here. I'll never know, what would have happened if I'd stayed, but it's the USA has been great to me, and I've loved it here. So I feel very fortunate I had the opportunity. And it was Ted Jones. I think it was actually my Carmarthen Town debut. I scored a hat trick against Hamilton West. And I think that's what Ted Jones had read in the paper, because he had hailed from Wales, although he'd been in the States for decades. He kept up with the League of Wales, and that's what got him in touch with me. So
Wow.
I had no idea about VCU. I didn't know anything about college soccer. I didn't know anything about Richmond. So I kind of jumped in the deep end a little bit, and luckily it turned out okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to badmouth New York, but I think when you go to a university that's outside the city, whether it's in the Midwest or Richmond, you can concentrate more on what you're doing and not get distracted. Um, although I've heard that Richmond is it's a college town, somewhat cosmopolitan. I don't think it would have the distractions of New York. So
It was definitely very different to where I lived in Wales. It has a couple of universities. There's the University of Richmond, which is across town. VCU is actually a downtown campus. There's actually streets and roads and apartments in between all of the college buildings, pretty much. So it does have a campus, but there's it's part of the city. So it's kind of a unique college, a little different to when a lot of them are just completely isolated. They're like their own little town. So VCU was different in that sense, and I actually lived in an apartment with 6 of my teammates my first year, but the apartment was off campus, just kind of, within a mile of campus. But we did live in the city, so it was a big change for me too, from living in Wales, kind of surrounded by hills and sheep.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, next question I have is, what do you think of the My Football Club ownership model? Do you know anything about it? What have you heard about it?
Yeah, I didn't know much about it. Obviously, when I came over to play, I looked it up and kind of saw what it was all about, and I think it was very interesting. So I don't know a lot about it other than what I've kind of browsed through on the internet. But it seems like a great idea. It's a great way for fans to get involved with the club. And I mean, who knows? Maybe one day I'll get into it myself. But
Okay.
it's definitely a great way to follow a team. And I only this past year I think I signed up to do a Premier League fantasy league, which I'd never done before. But it's interesting because once you sign up for it and do it, you really get into it and you look out for the results. And I'm sure it's the same way if you've got an interest in a club like Ebbsfleet, you're going to really kind of stay behind the team and keep up with the news. And it's a great way to kind of to enjoy your time.
Yeah, and this year it actually has been very good news. Result-wise, we had a good FA Cup run. In fact, the team when we played AFC Wimbledon, the first match, and then the replay. Both games were broadcast on ESPN here. I'm sorry, on Fox Soccer.
That's right. I did actually watch. I watched the games. Yeah, 'cause the first one was 0-0, I believe.
Yes.
The replay. Yeah, I saw them here myself.
Wow, good. Wow. Well, that's good. That's good. Next question. This one is mine. What the best moment in soccer for you? I thought it was the 120th minute goal that you scored, and it sent Richmond into the finals. But maybe it was the hat trick that you had as a young man. I don't know which. What's your favorite moment?
Yeah, I guess I've been playing for a long time, so I probably have several moments. Obviously, my first hat trick was probably a big one. In university, we won back-to-back conference championships that I scored in the finals of both. So they were two very memorable games. And then I've had a couple in recent years. This past year I scored a 119th minute goal in the Open Cup. I think that was last season against Crystal Palace, who were a division above us. So that was nice to get a goal right before penalty kicks, and definitely the 120th game winner against Harrisburg in the semi-finals. That was very emotional. It was strange actually because it was literally the last kick of the game before penalty kicks.
Wow.
And it was emotional for the whole team. And the next week we went on to win the championship 3-1, and it was kind of a much more somber mood from the previous week. Kind of the last Garth goal, it was craziness, and then to go, we won 3-1, and obviously it was great that we'd won the championship, but it still didn't quite feel the same as the prior week, which was interesting. So that was probably one of the most emotional goals I've scored. So yeah, that one would definitely stand out in my mind.
Well, I forgot about the U.S. Open Cup one. So you have a habit of scoring these late game goals.
I've had a couple of late goals the past couple of seasons for the Kickers. So hopefully I'll get a few more this year.